Hey everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight TV edition. As Tim is stretching because he's tired and he's been all lazy over there. But we talk about horror TV.
You
We're
don't
working our way.
stretch when you're tired. You stretch when you're getting ready.
Oh, I do apologize. Tim's getting ready over there for what I don't know. I'm actually a little bit worried now. But we're working our way through Tales from the Crypt. That's going to be season 6, episode 2. It's called Only Skin Deep, and I swear we've had a very similar title to that before.
Oh,
That
I wouldn't be
sounds
surprised if we had the same title at some point.
Yeah, that sounds so familiar, that title, but, whatever, we'll roll with it. So, what is this? Full spoilers, of course, for the episode. What is this one? This is a guy at a party named Carl. He's having some relationship issues. He goes to this Halloween party, everyone's dressed up. He has a bit of a fight with his ex-girlfriend, and he runs into this other woman named Molly, and they kind of hit it off because they're both kind of miserable together, and he's kind of like taken with her. They go back to her place, and she looks kind of creepy, and she might have some sort of ulterior motive, and I'll leave it there until we talk about more plot, because that's kind of I mean, obviously I said full spoilers, but I like to just kind of set it up, then talk about our feelings, and then go into the nitty
You
gritty
gotta
of...
ease into it, baby.
That was so creepy. That was so creepy. You gotta ease into it, baby. So I'll ask the question, Tim. Did you enjoy Only Skin Deep? Or are we had a decent-ish episode last week after a long slate of shit. Was this another step up? Was it equal, or are we back to shit? What are we at?
I'll I'll tell you what. I'm not sure how you're gonna feel about it, but I personally loved this episode. Uh,
Wait, hold on, hold on,
I
hold on, hold on. You have faked this so many times over the past couple of months that I have to just let it sink in for a second and just wait for the got you. Just wait for the no, I'm kidding. Right.
no, I genuinely really like this episode. This was another one I remember seeing in my youth. I'd completely forgotten
A
about it,
long
but I
time
was
ago
kind of
now.
happy. Wait, what?
A long time ago now.
Hey, come on. What you doing?
Hey,
Okay.
I'm not the one in my 30s, alright? I might be close to it, but I'm not there yet, alright? So,
I'll have you know, people often compliment me on my youthful. Um,
because you shaved. Look at you, you shaved to try and like get rid of 5 years and you look all young.
but yeah, to me, this is kind of like what you want out of Tales from the Crypt. It's like kind of sleazy, but you have a really like asshole main character that you just know he's gonna get like his just desserts. You have um, like a really, I mean, it's kind of easy to be like, oh yeah, this is creepy because this girl's wearing a creepy mask. But I did think that like she generally looked creepy, and there's a creepy tone to it, and I like the twist ending. There's one part about it I didn't like that we'll get into it, but it's a very minor thing. But yeah, overall I had a lot of fun with it. I think it's a really good episode.
Interesting. Interesting. What's funny is I was really concerned for the first like minute or two, because the first couple of minutes where he's at the party and he's like bickering with his ex-girlfriend and his friends try to tell him to leave and all of that, I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of these episodes.
And I think in the beginning, the Crypt Keeper mentioned something about like something about like a couple or and I forget what he said exactly, but it made me think that it's going to be like a love triangle
Well,
episode again.
I actually laughed really hard because I've been complaining a lot recently that the Crypt Keeper segments have nothing to do with the episode. He's doing like gambling stuff,
Oh yeah.
right? He's at a poker table and he's doing gambling stuff. And it's like, and the guy in our story likes to bet as well, but he likes to bet on romance. And I went,
Yeah.
that was like the worst way to segue into that. That was so forced, so forced. But I'm happy to say I actually like this a lot. In fact, this is probably the best episode in like 20 episodes or something like that. Like, it's
Okay,
better than
good. You
all of
can
season
stay on the
5.
podcast.
Yeah, it's better than all of season 5 for sure. I'd have to go back to season 4 and see what ones I liked in that season before I said definitively if it was better than season 4. But I concur the creepy tone in her being creepy, because right away her mask is a little bit weird, because it's like that looks more like sort of attached to your face than a mask at a Halloween party
Yeah.
normally would, right? So part
Yeah.
of the twist is kind of easy to see coming. That, oh, that's just really her face, right? But she's got the thigh high boots on. She's got sort of the leather outfit on, and it's all very kind of all right. So it's kind of slightly dominatrixy, but like there's a creepiness to it, right? And when she takes him back to her place, and she actually takes off her thing, because obviously they do nothing but talking innuendo, and they've got kind of this creepy attraction to each other right away. When she takes him back to his place or her place, and she takes off, he's like, "Oh, I need to get out of this. I'm sweating." And she's like in there, so she's sitting there in her underwear with the mask on, and she just kind of opens her legs a bit and says, "Come here." Like I got like super creepy vibes from this.
Oh yeah.
It felt like, okay, yeah, sure, body's all sexy, but this feels like a trap. This feels like succubus like is going to like the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The she-praying mantis is coming for the teenage boys, and she's going to cut off your head when she's done with you. Like it was giving me those creepy vibes. Like the mask and like combining that with the otherwise very sort of sexy appearance is very creepy. It is.
Yeah, and I really liked the way the actress. I apologize, I wasn't sure who played her, but
Sherry Rose is the name of the actress.
oh, okay. Well, I don't think I really know her from anything else, but I thought she did a really good job in this role because I feel like a lot of people would have gone like the route of, making her kind of like talk creepy and act creepy, but like she was talking like kind of like a regular, like she was kind of like sarcastic and
If anything,
you
I'd
know
say she went more like, I'm just bored of everything. Like she sounded
yeah.
bored when she was speaking about things. It was like a different kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
there was like this kind of level of like, she felt like, I'm kind of over this. I'm above these like, these like dumb people and stuff, which I don't know. I just really like that take on it as opposed
which
to,
which is why when she turned into like sort of seducting him or like saying this, do this, uh, it felt really creepy. It felt like this shift. It felt like, oh, now we're getting to her intentions or something like that. It felt like there was this
yeah,
shift, and I thought there was some other creepy little moments in the episode, like when he wakes up after having sex and he has this like vision of this guy who's like standing in the room, who's like shaking his head at him, like really, it's edited over the top where it's like sort of frantically shaking his head like really quickly. And I'm like, oh, this has actually got like a creepy tone to it. Like, this is like, where are we? And then he like, she gives him a drink, and I'm like, okay, that's probably laced with something. And he starts looking around, and they agreed not to tell each other their real names. Like, they only had their first names, but they won't see their faces, they won't tell last names or anything like that. And he goes round the drawers and stuff, and like, our medication, and like, all the letters to the place all say occupant. Nothing has her name on it. And he's like looking for her name, and he can't find anything. And it's a whole thing.
yeah. And then, like even when they go like into her place, it's like this. It looks like this kind of like abandoned warehouse floor or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, he even kind of mentions like, oh, like this is your place, and she's like, well, it's like, I forget what she said, like it's whatever. But even that, you're kind of already getting like these like weird vibes that something's not quite right here.
Yeah, just a little tinge of something like under the skin, just a little tinge of
Yeah.
that. Like this is more of a trap than it is anything else.
The one thing I wasn't crazy about was the vision that he gets when he wakes up. Like it's not, it like I didn't hate it, but it just seemed like kind of weirdly out of place to me, especially when it's like, wait a minute, is he uh, like I don't know, is that a ghost or something? Because it's like you could say,
It's a fair question. I liked it tonally. I think it just tonally added something to the episode. I felt like
fair,
it's
yeah.
been a while since I felt like an episode of this was creepy. Like it's like they have not been creepy in a long time, and I felt like this worked at being creepy if nothing else.
Yeah.
And obviously you find out later it's one of our previous victims that he's having a vision of. But so the big thing with his character though is that he's a very clingy asshole who, like, once he's like fallen for you, he will like insist on being around, and how dare you turn him down, and all this kind of thing. And he kind of starts acting like that again with her.
And he's abusive, like
Yeah.
which is again like one of the things you kind of want out of Tales from the Crypt is you want these assholes having bad stuff to them. And yeah, I think they do a great job of like, yeah, this guy sucks. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen to him.
I will say, I'll say that you said you like the twist at the end. I wouldn't even call it a twist in this episode. I feel like this one, it's more just like, I don't think it's meant to be like a twist and like, oh, this was really my face the whole time. Because even before we got to it, I was thinking, yeah, what if this is just her face and like, Halloween's the one night she can go out and no one will question
Yeah.
anything, and like. So then she, because obviously he tries to like take her mask off at one point, and it like, kind of like digs into her skin, and he's like, "What the hell?" And she's all like, "Yeah, this is really in my face." And it just ends with this creepy thing where she's basically leather faced him, where she's taken off his face and puts it in this like cabinet with like other like faces that she's taken from men. Presumably every Halloween. This is probably a yearly tradition. She probably hides most of the year, and then on Halloween she goes out and gets a victim.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty great. It's, I mean, I feel like they were trying to set it up as a twist, but like, I mean, like you said, it's like it's pretty obvious. But yeah, no, I think it's still like satisfying at the end. Like once you get that, like he digs into her, and she starts bleeding, and then just him having the realization, like what is going on, and then yeah, just her kicking him off and getting the, I guess that like little saw thing. It just everything feels very satisfying. And then I really like the shot at the end where she's putting his face in that little drawer, and it's very dusty, but there's like a little bit of a streak from when he wiped it off earlier, and it kind of just perfectly like falls on his face when she closes the door. I thought it looked really nice.
Yeah, it's just one of those little touches, but it works really well. No, I think this is a genuinely good, creepy little atmosphere, and I think the design of the mask, the location, and her performance all kind of like work together really well. I feel like all those things come together to give me a perfect little 20-something minute story. I was into it.
I feel like a lot of time, the I think Tales from the Crypt usually will go more for like shocking or gory or funny. I feel like there's not always a ton of creepy episodes, so I really like when they just really nail it. Like I think there's a few that are genuinely creepy that I really like.
Yeah, no, this is definitely one of the standouts of the last couple seasons, like easily. I like. It's funny because I was really worried for the first couple of minutes, and then he met her in the kitchen, and I was like, okay, right, so this is a bit more interesting. She seems kind of creepy, but once they go back to her place, it's just like no, everything just had this tone. It had this foreboding sense of like there's something going on here, but and not even just like this dread. It had this sort of bittersweet sadness to it as well. Mostly from her performance. It kind of felt like she's backed into this corner, and this is what she does. But it's kind of like a tragic story because of maybe she was treated badly, maybe because of her face. Like you get a feeling like this wasn't just she isn't just a sadistic bitch who has this a hobby. This is like this took development through her life to get to this point where she's just mocked and abused and whatever else by her peers and whatever. But I don't know. I think again, I come back to the performance. I feel like there was a history there. And then, on top of that, she has just this really cool look. Like I could totally see this being like a villain in a comic book.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, man, under different circumstances, she probably could have been a superhero, but
yeah,
sadly not.
I'm just thinking because I'm reading Doomsday Clock right now, and I feel like you put her next to Mime and Marionette in Doomsday Clock, and they would fit perfectly.
You know what it feels like to be, especially like with her kind of like the like kind of black leathery outfit that she's wearing is like it feels like maybe a like kind of 90s like independent like Image comic book or something. Like I could see something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So no, for the first time in a while, I give a proper recommendation to an episode of Tales from the Crypt, because even though last week wasn't bad, still wasn't great. It was
you could skip it.
Yeah, it was a skippable one. This was genuinely good, and it's the first time I've said that in a good while. So that makes me worry that we're going into another streak of shit after this. But hey, we got a good episode, and that's great to see. So there you go. So that has been Tales from the Crypt. That has been Only Skin Deep. So let us know what you think of this one in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mail_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over at patreon.com/mailfuzztv. There's a link to that in the description. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching. Keep watching Scary TV, guys, and we'll see you next time.